Hi, this is Nick from ThatSportScienceBlog.com. This video is part of the Building and Monitoring System for Your Sports Team series. This video will show you how to change your data or use a Excel table for your database. Okay, so far we've looked at importing our data and assigning labels to it into the database. Okay, and now we just want to insert that data or make sure that data is getting inserted into a Excel table, because what that allows us to do is increase our capabilities to do analysis of that data, okay, and use things like pivot tables, which are great time savers, okay, and they increase our ability to analyze that data. So what we're going to look at, okay, is our database here. Okay, and we're going to insert a table in here. So I'm just going to shift control and press across and down. I've got all of my data there, and as you can see, I've inserted a whole season's worth of mock data there. I'm just going to come back up to the top. So we've got a lot more data in that database now, and I'm going to click insert, and I'm going to hit this table button there. And yes, my table has headers, so I'm going to click OK. Okay, and now you can see, as simple as that, we have created an Excel table. Just going to change the formatting slightly on that so you can see those headers. There you go. So you're probably thinking, well, that's great, but what does that allow me to do? So first of all, we can quite quickly, by using these little drop downs here, select and deselect certain information. Okay, so now you can see we just have the matchday -1 sessions, and we can go more in depth than that. We can just look at Andy's matchday -1 sessions. Okay, so you can quite quickly just sort and look through your data like that. And if I select all of them again, if I press Control down and come to the bottom of my table, I can insert a totals row that allows, again, quite quick analysis to be done on some of this data. So now, and I can still click on these drop downs, I'm going to have a look at Sam's data, and it gives me an average there, and I could get the standard deviation. Okay, and as we can see, if we just reduce that down to just one session, that standard deviation decreases significantly, and then we can have a look at that average there. Okay, and it tells us the average for Sam's matchday -2 sessions is 2.9 kilometers. So we could do a quick comparison to his matchday -1 sessions. Okay, so you can see the ease of which we can perform these analysis. I'm just going to get rid of that totals row there. I'm just going to click there and get all my data back in there. Okay, and come back up to the top. Now I'm just going to show you another thing it allows us to do. So I'm going to come back into our additional information, grab a list of the players there, copy those, come back to our database. Now we'd normally do this on another sheet, so just going to have players there, and what I want to do is I want to start building player profiles. So first of all, we're just going to have a look at total distance. So I'm going to use a average ifs function here. So I'm going to write equals average and just go down to ifs, hit tab. Okay, and it asks me for the average range. So I want to average the total distance. So you see, I just get that little black arrow there when I hover it over that total distance. And if I click there, you can see it gives me a table 2, which is a table we're in, because this is the second one I created in this worksheet. Okay, and then total distance is the header there. So I don't have to bother with getting the range. I can do that much quicker. And then the criteria range. Okay, so this is the range that it wants to check the criteria against, and again I just get that little black arrow. I can click there, hit comma, okay, and then come across, and I want it to lock onto the player's name there. Okay, and I'm going to hit F4, and I'm just going to lock that by row, not column, and now I'm going to close those brackets, hit enter. Okay, and I'm just going to neaten that up slightly, and you can see it's given me the average for all those players down there. So I've obviously locked the wrong one there. We want it locked by column, sorry, not row. So when I drag that down, you can see we now have the averages for all those players there. Okay, so you're saying, well, that's fairly good, but I probably could have done that at a similar speed. But what we're going to do now is come back into our additional information, take our session types here, okay, copy that, come back to our database, just transpose those as headers there, okay, and that will be the total average here, because we haven't applied any more inclusion exclusion criteria on that. And I'm just going to put that in a little box there, okay. I'm just going to, rather than, if we drag that across, you'll see it gives us an error, because when we use tables like this, that shoots across, okay? So what we're actually going to do is we're going to copy that and paste that in there, and as you can see it's giving us the same value, but now we're just going to add in another inclusion exclusion criteria. So I'm just going to come here, press a comma, add in a criteria range, and we're going to hit type, okay, press comma again, and this time it's going to be general up here, and I'm going to hit F4 and lock that this time by row and close those brackets, hit enter, okay, and drag that down. So now what you can see, that's given us a average for general sessions of John there. And if I take these, and again you've got to copy and paste them, okay, you can see here it's now given the players match averages, the active recovery sessions, so you're getting a individual player, okay, profile for total distance for every one of their session types up here. So you know that's done, and it's done pretty speedily, and with not a lot of effort from your part, okay. And the great thing about it is if I copy that and paste that in there, and now call this one high speed running, come here, and instead of total distance I just change that up there, and you can see it gives me that little option there for your high speed running there. Hit tab, enter, it's now done that for high speed running. I come to here, do the same process, hit enter, come down there, and now I'm just going to copy and paste that. Okay, so you can see that now we have the profiles of the high speed running for all those players for all those sessions. Brilliant, hey? So we can double check that. So I'm just going to go here, I'm going to click Andy, okay, and we want maybe just his matchday -1 sessions, and I'm going to come to the bottom here, and I'm just going to design, have the totals row. Okay, and it's given me a 2,150 average for his matchday -1 sessions there. And I'm just going to put those in so I can see those players again. This is why you normally have this sort of thing done on a different sheet, because you can see as we collapse those rows there, it also collapses them over here. So Andy, there you go, 2,150 meters as an average, so we know that that's all getting worked out correctly. So I hope you can see how powerful using a Excel table is, and also how simple and easy it is to use one. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and please log in for the rest of the series. Thank you, goodbye.